Hello everyone, Turbo here, and I'm back with another season of the USDL. They invited me back to play, and I of course said yes. I love the draft format. This time, however, they did have a very special thing about it, because last season's draft was pretty standard, but this time they decided to change it up by making it VGC. This means it's gonna be doubles instead of singles. Dynamaxing is allowed on any Pokemon, so we don't have to pick like specific G-Max Pokemon. But if if we don't pick a G-Max Pokemon, we can only use the normal form of the Pokemon. Besides that, a lot of Pokemon that are not that impressive in the normal format are pretty good here. It's all Gen 8, so nothing from outside the generation. So I thought it was really interesting, and I had some really good ideas. I did get sniped a whole lot because there's obviously a lot of Pokemon that are very good and that everyone wants to have. So first I wanted Togekiss, but Togekiss went like the first pick before me. I had one to last pick, so I didn't really have all that much food left. So I decided to go with Dusclops. Dusclops is a pretty cool Pokemon. It of course is one of the best Trick Room setters in the tier, thanks to Eviolite, and it's 130 base defense and special defense. It can trick up basically all Trick Room up always. Besides that, it gets like pretty cool moves like Haze, Nightshade, and one of the ones I'm really interested in is Ally Swap, which makes you switch positions with the Pokemon next to you, and that really helps in like mind games. If you have a sweeper, you can switch positions and they hit the Dusclops instead of your sweeper, which then gets a free turn to attack. And with pressure, it's a pretty good support Pokemon. I had some really cool plans with like really slow Pokemon like Rhyperior. However, Rhyperior and later on Mudsdale got a snipe from me, so I don't really have those at my disposal. Also, Icy Wind is really helpful. Helping Hand can be really good because the 1.5 boost to an attack. Will-O-Wisp, this is just, it's a bag of tricks that's just good in most situations. So that's kind of why I picked it up. This was my first S tier. We were allowed to pick 2 S tiers, 2 A tiers, 3 B tiers, and 4 C tiers. And my team came out kind of weird, but I'll have to make it work, and it's gonna be fun anyway. My next Pokemon was actually one that got unbanned for this tournament specifically, is Galarian Darmanitan. And honestly, this was my second S tier. I picked it up because of Zen mode. I really want to use like the Zen mode Darmanitan and just like have some fun with this. It's of course it's a very good Pokemon. In singles it can do a lot of damage. It gets things like Earthquake and Ice Crash, and Rock Slide is very good in doubles. But if I can use like Zen mode and maybe like Belly Drum Select and then Ally Swap with Dusclops, I have a huge threat that can just spam Earthquake. And that's the thing, there's not really, because Zen Darmanitan, I can grab it here, Zen Darmanitan gets faster than normal Darmanitan. So if I run Zen mode, I can really just set up with it thanks to Dusclops. And that's just a really cool idea to me. It's of course with Gorilla Tactics, it's just very strong. Freeze Dye is very nice versus like Rain. Belly Drum, Bulldoze, which slows everything down. Solar Beam, I don't know why it learned Solar Beam. It does. But yeah, that's just like, this seemed like a lot of fun to use the Zen mode, and it is a very solid Pokemon, so there wasn't really a downside to picking this. A lot of Pokemons that I wanted were gone, so I decided, hey, why not grab this? You don't really get the chance to use this normally. It's just gonna be a lot of fun. Next was my first A-tier, and at this point I was kind of looking for something to cover my two modes, which were Darmanitan is a strong attacker, which with like almost good speed. I really wanted Sticky Webs for that, but Dusclops is a great Trick Room seller, so I decided to go with Vikavolt. Vikavolt, of course, with that 43 base speed. It's very slow, but 145 special attack means it can, like, I can Dynamax this. I can Dynamax this as Sweep with it, but I can also run it as Sport or Darmanitan and set up Sticky Webs with it. It's, for sweeping, it gets Air Slash, which means speed boost. It gets Electric Terrain, it gets Grassy Terrain, Steel coverage, Poison coverage, what more? Mud Shot if I really wanted. It's just like String Shot is also very helpful in doubles, which, like, it sounds surprising, but it lowers both your opponents by 2 stages, and that means like Darmanitan or any other of those kind of Pokemon can really sweep pretty easily. So that is just, plus it avoids the Earthquake, which is cool. I need to check the rules on Oko moves, but if not, I'm gonna meme one week and just bring Guillotine, because that just sounds funny. But yeah, this fit my 2 Pokemon I had at the time perfectly, so I'm really happy I got this. Next was possibly my favorite of this generation, Obstagoon. I kind of just got this. It's the same as Darmanitan. It's exactly the same speed, and it's just a Pokemon that, like, it presses buttons and hits very hard on a single target. But if that means I have Vikavolt and Webs and then bring out Darmanitan and Obstagoon, they can just fight the game like it's 2 1v1 battles next to each other, if that makes sense. They can just kind of focus on one opponent and deal a lot of damage. So that's just basically the idea here. Of course, it's Guts with the Flame Orb, but Defiant is also a really good thing, because I can possibly like use moves to lower stats on Obstagoon, get the Defiant boost, and then like use, where is it? But this thing doesn't get Sucker Punch, but like use a knockoff and Brutal Swing, which hits both, and stuff like that. Obstruct and Parting Shot are really good helpful moves. Sleep Bomb, Shadow Claw are good coverage. Same with Thumping Phantom. Taunt is a big reason why I got this. Being able to like negate stuff like Follow Me and Ally Swap and other support Pokemon is really big. Thunder Wave, I figured could come in really handy. Fake Tears could be very interesting paired with Vikavolt, because I can lower their special defense and then hit them with like a Max Lightning. Iron Defense, Body Press if I really wanted. It's just like Snarl is a really cool one, because I can lower both the opponent's special attack. So again, this is just, it's very good in singles, and I just kind of want to use it in doubles as a singles Pokemon. So that's gonna be fun. Next up, I went from A to B, and I filled out my B tier, which I saw one really high value pick for TGC. which is Gudra. Gudra of course gets Hydration and Chef Zipper, which are both really good. Gooey can come in handy situationally, but the most important reasons I got this is Muddy Water is a 2-hit that lowers accuracy. Earthquake hits both opponents. Sludge Wave hits both opponents. This one just gets coverage. Weather Ball is a very good like coverage move. Breaking Swipe lowers both foes' attack. It's basically Snarl. Also hits both opponents. Same with Doodle Swing and Bulldoze. Acid Spray lowers special defense. This one just like it has so much coverage and gimmicks, and that just like this was such a good pick to get. And with like I had a pretty big fire weakness with these two, so it also covers that. So this was a no-brainer. I saw this and I was like, wait, doesn't this thing get Muddy Water? And then I realized it was a dragon, so it got Breaking Swipe, and from there I was like, I need this. Anyway, my last B tier is a pretty surprising one. It's Mr. Mime Kento. This comes with like Technician, Filter and Soundproof. Soundproof is a pretty interesting one. Filter helps a bit, but mostly I knew this thing gets Alright, I didn't know this thing I thought this thing got Follow Me, but that's just a big mistake on my part then. I might switch this out later. I had my eyes on another B-tier Pokemon, that being Toxtricity. But still, Fake Out with Technician hits pretty decently. It gets Dazzling Gleam, hits both foes. Encore is pretty good. Like the screens is a huge deal because I can set up screens and then use Dormant and to sweep. Taunt, of course, Teleport for a slow pivot. Trick Room, again, I can set up Trick Room if necessary. It's pretty. Guard Swap is an interesting one because this one has really high special defense, so I can like make any of my monsters really especially bulky. So G-Meter, Hypnosis could possibly be really good. Misty Terrain, Mimic. This is just like another one of those, hey, that's pretty interesting Pokemon. Again, if I can get Toxtricity, I would like that. Since it doesn't get Follow Me. Toxicity gets Boom Burst and stuff like that. Actually, now that I'm looking at the doc, someone has Toxicity, so that's really scary to go up against. Anyway, that was my reasoning behind this mine. It also gives me like a fairy type. And a very interesting thing is Soundproof. I wanted to Boom Burst that. I got Soundproof, I was instantly like, I'm gonna Boom Burst on something. Toxicity by that time was out of my league because I had all 3 of my B ones, but I had 1 A tier slot left. So I went with Como-O. Como-O is another one, he's back from the first season. He's very good in singles, yes, but between like Fake Out and Alive Swap, I can get a Clangor Song. I can possibly Boom Burst, which doesn't affect Mr. Mime, which is huge, and it doesn't affect the Dusclops, which make those 2 really good partners. It can just click buttons to be critically annoying. I can run the Select Berry Belly Drum set to spam Earthquake with. There's Rock Slide is very good, and this is another one. Breaking Swipe is a notable one. Noble Roar is decent, not as good. Scary Face. This is just like really good value. Like you can't really go wrong with Como. Como is just a good Pokemon. Bulletproof and Soundproof are really good for like voice, sound, and like ball moves, which makes like Gyro Ball and Cinderace blocks and stuff like that. So this is just gonna be another interesting one to use, especially in doubles. I do, however, need to watch out Togekiss. Togekiss is a really scary one. So anyway, at this point I had like 2 dragons and a fairy type. I really wanted to complete that score with a steel type. And with my trick room in mind, I went with Steelix. This thing has, of course, the 200 base defense, but with 85 attack, a low speed, of course, which abuses the trick room, and sheer force, it gets like ridiculously strong. Like Drill Run gets boosted, Fire Fang gets boosted, really strong attacks. Iron Head gets boosted. Psychic Fangs was a really interesting one because that helps him versus like fighting types, and fighting types usually come in on this, so that's a really cool move. Breaking Swipe again, Brutal Swing, Bulldoze. This is just, if I needed a low tier steel type and this was just there, so it was a really good pick for me. So that's gonna be really interesting to use. Adding on my like offensive coverage, I needed a water type preferably, and I got my hands on Barbarical. Of course, Buff Class Sniper is pretty cool. I could run a crit set if I really wanted, with like Lancet Berry, Dragon Claw, Earth Power, Earthquake, Shell Smash, of course, which like Shell Smash with again Ally Swap or Fake Out is really good. Liquidation is cool. Rock Slide. This gets Stealth Rocks, which is helpful. Again with Slush Wave, Taunt, Sword Stance. This is just like another one of those, this is a good Pokemon no matter how you look at it. Skull Bash could potentially be very interesting. This might be if I Shell Smash one of the Pokemon I Dynamax with. Same with like Pickerfold and Steelix. I really need to watch what I want to Dynamax, but I'll have to see that. At this point the good Pokemon were all gone, so Duocean is, for what it is, a really good pick. It has 65 HP, very high special attack, but it gets access to the AT line, and it can set up trick room screens. It can attack. It of course has Magic Card, which is really good. Regenerator helps it live longer. It can possibly set up into Short Power, which is really cool with like Iron Defense, Acid Armor, and Calmine. And from that point it's really hard to stop, especially with like the help of Screens and Ally Swap. So that's really good. Helping Hand is a really good one. Imprison could be good. Mew was banned, by the way, so that's not something we have to worry about. Last month, at this point, like nothing good was left. I was just like, maybe I should like cover my type. It was either a fire or a grass type, and I actually went with Dartrix. And now you might think, why did you go with Dartrix? Dartrix is not like an impressing Pokemon, and that's true. Long Reach is a decent ability. Its stats are alright, but one move in particular, Feather Dance, lowers the target's attack by 2. That can come in really handy if I want to like set up with Como. I can lower the attack of like a Dynamax Sweeper and not have to care as much about it anymore. And that's really big. For the rest, like Shadow Sneak, Steep Bomb are pretty nice. Sucker Punch is a big deal. Let's see what more. Default can come in really handy, so I don't instantly lose to hazards. False swipe. Grass pledge. I don't have any other pledges, which that would be really cool if I could use pledges. But at the point I really wanted, like, what was his special? The wow, I'm putting the blank right here. What was his? Not right, no, but where is he? I know what he looks like, but like I can't find him. All the way to the bottom. It's not in here. Let's see that. There it is. Silvelli. I really wanted Silvelli. But at the time it was gone. If I had Silvelli, I could have used the pledges. But now I'm just like, you don't by chance get water pledge. No, you don't get water pledge. But like, overall the team looks interesting enough. I'm not really happy with it, but it can do some really cool things, like Terminus and Obstacle, and of course boom bursting with Como. So I'm really hoping this season goes well. My opponents have shown to be like really good, so we'll have to see. This is Triple of the Friesland Turrets signing off, and I hope you watch Season 2 of the USDL.